And welcome back to Face Off as we move to baseball talk. World Series is set.
We did it.
Tim Lincecum and his San Francisco Giants taking on the Detroit Tigers. And we're going to talk about this series a bit and give our predictions. I'll start. It's tough to pick against the Giants now after what they've done the first two rounds, rallying back from 0-2 and 3-1 series deficits. First National League team to do so in the division series to rally from an 0-2 deficit. I just feel, though, that this is the Tigers' year, the way that they've been playing. And, the Giants won it in 2010. The Tigers came up short in 2006. So I just feel like it's the Tigers' year. They have the best pitcher in baseball,
Absolutely.
Justin Verlander. I'm sure this guy might disagree a bit. But they have the best pitcher in baseball.
Pitcher
I think
over 6 foot.
Right, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
I think the offense is good enough. Miguel Cabrera, obviously the best hitter in baseball this year. So I think it's the Tigers' year. I would say Tigers in 6.
A lot of people say that to the Tigers' deficit is that they have such a long break since the ALCS, and that doesn't make any sense at all. They now have a well-rested Verlander who can go now 3 games for them. They've got the entire lineup back. They're injury-free, and they're facing a Giants squad that is completely tied up. Their rotation is completely off. Matt Cain's not going to get started till Game 3. I think they're really going in with their hands tied. I think they've gone as far as they
and
can.
their pitchers, they are strikeout guys.
Yeah.
So they like to throw the cheddar. And they're getting a lot of rest. I do understand the rest theory from the sense that recently the teams that sweep in the CSs do lose, but Verlander's going to pitch Game 1 and Game 4, so I think you're going to be calling me crazy. I'm taking Tigers in 5.
Yeah.
Because you got Zito in the first game going against Verlander.
As good as Zito was, come on.
And if I do pitch Game 2, sorry, San Fran fans, you are screwed.
Speaking of that, that's a perfect segue into our next question. Is Tim Lincecum going to get a start in this series, Kevin?
Should you, Tim? No, but
Should I?
Really, it's too late for that. You make the late switch near the end of the year.
Would you start me?
No, I wouldn't. It's been too late. He has this mentality the entire season that he's now taken the role as a secondary guy. He's not the primary ace anymore on the team, and he seems to understand that the more he talks about it. You now have him in a reliever role where he's going to be crucial in those innings. You can't take that and then tell him you're going to be starting Game 3 of the World Series. We're not even supposed to be in anymore. Game 2. Sorry, Game 2, even worse. I say keep him in the bullpen if you want any shot.
I say you start him. Why not?
That's right.
This guy won 2 Cy Youngs for you. He was your ace when you won a world championship.
Where I went 4-0.
I'm not saying he starts Game 1, but why not start him in Game 3 or 4?
Well, yeah, you definitely couldn't start him in Game 1. But other than the start against the Cardinals, where he only had 1 bad inning, which his first inning, historically, he's always not been that great in the first inning. He's always due for 1 bad inning, even when he won his Cy Youngs. Yeah. But when he was coming out of the bullpen, he pitched 8 innings and allowed one run. And he was striking out guys left and right. He was back to his old form. Now, mentally, yes, is that the mentality of being in the bullpen? Is he getting comfortable with that? Yes, but deep down, the guy's a competitor. He wants to win. He's leaving San Fran next year. They said that they gave him permission. He can go seek a trade. So I think the guy's going to literally pitch his you-know-what off.
I think,
and he's going to give everything. I think he's going to pitch till his arm falls off. And the Tigers lineup, a lot of righties. And that ballpark, if he's going to pitch, he has to pitch at home.
I say you wait until Game 3. If you're down 3-0, absolutely he starts Game 4.
So you're
I say you wait till then.
Basically, you're saying if they lose Game 1, they have to.
At this point,
you're saying even if the Giants lose Game 1 to the best pitcher in baseball, they have to panic.
The Giants?
Yeah.
No, I said if they're going into Game 4 down by 3.
You're basically saying don't start Game 2 if they lose Game 1.
No, I'm saying that he shouldn't even be starting Game 2. I'm saying if I was Bruce Bochy, I would be waiting until Game 4. And if I needed a spark plug, that's exactly what Tim Lincecum is.
Okay, but then you're pitching Vogelsong, Kane, and Bumgarner on the road.
And they've been great.
Yeah, so it would work out better, wouldn't it? You pitch your 2 worst pitchers in your pitcher's ballpark at home where your fans are ridiculous and you don't have a chance in Game 1 anyway. Might as well when you go into Detroit with your 3 best guys, Vogelsong, Kane, and Bumgarner, if he's still there.
But
and Zito, fine, Zito's going up against Verlander, but Zito's been pretty damn good.
When was the last time you said that? 2003?
2002.
Okay. Well, close enough.
Moneyball.
Anyway,
I do understand why you wouldn't start.
Yeah.
We're going to move to the team that the Detroit Tigers eliminated in the ALCS.
Oh boy. My real
It's
team.
okay. It's okay. the New York Yankees.
Hello, Susan. That's baseball.
And some questions coming into the offseason now with some players. Curtis Granderson, Nick Swisher, Alex Rodriguez, maybe staying, maybe going. Who do you keep? Who do you get rid of, guys?
Me? Yeah, me. Okay. A-Rod, goodbye. I mean, you are the biggest piece of trash to ever put on a Yankee uniform. And maybe after Deion Sanders. That's really probably it. You never belonged in pinstripes. Fine, the only time you had a good postseason was when they played these doofuses that are down the street.
He would.
You're really terrible. You're a terrible human being, okay? The Yankees said they're willing to pay 80% of his contract, so ship him off to Oakland, okay? But let him go to Miami where there's all the Spanish women for him. He'll have a great time. Swisher, you suck. Goodbye. Granderson, I don't know if they're going to pick up the option or not.
I think they should.
I wouldn't, but they're probably going to. But I think all three of them are out.
I think for the fans' sake, you got to keep at least Swisher or Granderson, really.
No, it's not. It's not about the fans anymore.
Kind of, I suppose.
They made a lot of moves to keep fans in the seats, and look at where it's got them.
I feel bad for A-Rod, to be completely
You're
honest.
Gonna get this ball chucked to your face.
It's called buyers beware. This guy's a complete head case. Everyone knows that. The guy is like feeds off of what everyone
So
else
would
is
you
saying.
take him
He's a
on the Mets?
complete egomaniac. No, because we'd be like, you suck. And he's like, you're right, I do suck. He'll be like Jason Bay. I know that. But that's the thing. You need to put him in a system, an environment where it's like, you're the man, A-Rod. You're our guy. We're sticking with you, A-Rod. A guy that's comfortable like that, 2009, when he was kind of like the backhand story, I felt like that was his place to shine because it was like, you know what, we don't care anymore, A-Rod.
So
And
A-Rod's out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
And
gone.
Swisher or Granderson, one stay.
One will stay, one will go.
I agree. A-Rod's out. One of Swisher and Granderson will stay. One will go.
How about you fire the manager? How about that?
Or you could do that. Anyway, we're going to move to cycling, which we don't really look at very much.
this
I think this is the
crappy.
I think this is the first time that we've ever looked at cycling on Face Off in my 4 years.
Revolutionary
Anyway,
producing.
Lance Armstrong and his as having his 7 Tour de France titles gone down the toilet.
Isn't
Adios.
Do you agree with this?
Isn't it like the other 19 guys that would have finished in first over him? Wouldn't they have been like stripped of it as well?
I believe so.
And,
Yes.
and
I
then
think
this
you're
whole
right.
team ratted him out too.
I can't respect the sport, honestly. After him,
Cycling,
after
yeah.
what's happened cycling, I just can't. It's no interest to me when I hear every single guy's getting caught with
Well,
doping.
no. It is Lance Armstrong, a national icon.
Yeah,
Strong,
I think he's a great
testicular
story.
cancer,
Absolutely.
All that.
He's-
My thing is, I think in our generation, what the elder fans fail to understand, which is why we don't care that much when this happens, our childhood in baseball is basically gone.
Oh yeah.
We're not surprised.
We're not surprised anymore, and we knew it was coming. And did you hear Nike apparently allegedly paid $500,000 to actually cover up his positive drug test?
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you guys didn't see that? It was reported by the Daily News, and then SI published it as well.
That's no good.
And I hate Nike, you know that.
Was
it harsh, though?
He
All
had
seven.
he had it coming.
So
He had it
you don't
coming.
think it's something like Clemens, where Clemens clearly didn't do steroids in his first couple years in baseball and was still the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers of all time? You think he was taking steroids? You're telling me this guy was on drugs for all 7?
I wouldn't say all 7, but I mean,
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, you can't tell like, oh, he was definitely on steroids this year, but he
So
wasn't.
it
on
is
this
had
year.
to
somewhat
do
harsh.
it's hard to tell if it's like it had to do with his recovery, if it had to do with the times where everyone was doping at that point, and it wasn't as frowned upon.
Wasn't
like,
Floyd
such as
Landis
steroids.
taken away too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He ratted him out, and he had his taken away. Yeah.
I'm surprised you remember that name.
Yeah.
I'm
That
the
took me half
producer
a
for the
second.
reason, yo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When you handed the keys, you knew you were handing it to a genius, didn't you?
We're going to step off to a break here on Face Off. When we come back, we have our game of the week. Final thoughts on game ball after this.